Hello, welcome to Hopeifiers. You're probably saying, hey, I see Alan, but where is Daniel? He's just a little bit delayed, so we're going to start without him, and then we'll get caught up when he gets here. That's kind of the plan. So, um, this show, as you know, is about audacious optimism. It's about dreams and stories that you wish were true. And one of the dreams that we like to share that we both believe would be amazing if this were true is a dream that we share of where we see all of the 7.6 billion people in the world all at the same time, all 7.6 billion of them. And it's this amazing thing that we see them. And of course, they have some differences, right? We've got people that have different color skins, right? They're black and white and yellow and red and brown. And they're different sizes and they're different shapes and they have different clothing and they have different languages they speak and different supreme beings that they connect with or spiritual beliefs that they have. And they have just different customs, but overall they're exactly the same. We're all human beings, right? Always have been human beings, always will be until this race ends, which hopefully is a long, long time. And with that, the thing that was amazing was that all of these 7.6 billion people, all of them were healthy. They all had enough food. They all had enough water. They all had shelter, right? All of them were hopeful. In your eyes, you could see that they had hope. And all of them as well were helping. They wanted to be of help to themselves and they wanted to be of help to others. And so we called these 3H humans. Humans that were healthy, that are hopeful, and that are helping. And if you can get that, imagine what our world would be like if that's the case. If every human being, that's what they had. So when Brother Daniel gets on here, we're going to chat about that a little bit because I know he is convinced, he is certain that people come to this world, have this human experience for a reason, that they're here to do something, to have some kind of unique voice, unique contribution to our world. And so we're going to chat about that in a little bit more detail when Daniel joins us. But right now, how about something a little different? How about I'm going to sing a song. And this is a song that I think speaks to the vision of an ideal world. So it's by John Fogerty. I dreamed I walked into heaven just the other night. There was so much beauty, so much light. Don't you wish it was true? Lord, don't you wish it was true? An angel took me by the hand, said you don't have to hurry. We got all the time in the world, don't worry. Don't you wish it was true? Lord, don't you wish it was true? But if tomorrow everybody was your friend, anybody could take you in, no matter where and when you've been. And if tomorrow everybody had enough, the world wasn't quite so rough. Lord, don't you wish it was true? He said the world's gonna change and it's starting today. There be no more armies, no more hate. Don't you wish it was true? Lord, don't you wish it was true? And all the little children will live happily. They'll be singing in laughter and sweet harmony. Don't you wish it was true? Lord, don't you wish it was true? But if tomorrow everybody under the sun was happy just to live as one, no borders and battles to be won. And if tomorrow everybody was your friend, happiness would never end. Lord, don't you wish it was true? And if tomorrow yours was hell, capacity for your will, the means for you to be of help. And if tomorrow everybody had enough, the world wouldn't be quite so rough. Lord, don't you wish it was true? And all the little children will live happily. They'll be singing and laughter in sweet harmony. Don't you wish it was true? Lord, don't you wish it was true? Beautiful song, very aspirational about what life would be like if we had no borders, no battles to be won. Everybody had enough. That would be pretty amazing. The other thing too we talked about last week, which is, human beings all need some basic things, right? They need food and they need water and they need clean housing. And they also need to be treated the same like everybody else. How about where people, guys that look like me 500 years ago, wrote laws that said, black people, they're not persons. They're human beings maybe, but they're not people. And then 150 years ago, we had our First Nations folks in my part of the country. That's the Blackfoot Nation that lived on these lands, the ancestral lands of the Blackfoot people. And they were, again, not regarded as people. They were less than, and we are, my ancestors worked very, very hard to beat the culture out of them and destroy that, end that culture. So they'd all become white, believe the same gods, all that kind of thing. And then 100 years ago, maybe, right, we didn't kind of regard women as being people. So we've had a lot of times when we haven't regarded people as people, and the commonality between us all is we're all human beings. We all have differences a little bit in our cultural things. And then, according to Brother Daniel, we also all have a unique contribution that we're here to be. So when you think about that, if that is true, that we all have a unique calling, we all have a unique contribution we have to make, then whatever thwarts your ability to be the best version of yourself, I think that Brother Daniel calls it personhood, that you're your own selfhood, that you don't compromise that. So if that's anything that impairs that ability to speak, there's the word, to speak your truth, your vision, to do that. Hey, Daniel.
Hello.
There he is. How are you doing?
So far, so good.
Good. Good to see your smiling face, sir.
Yeah, just made it to Ottawa.
Nice. And what's in Ottawa?
Well, I just had to do some papers,
Okay, cool, yeah. Cool. So you're going to be there for a while then, or?
No, just overnight.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, just had to do some work here. I have some meetings here. So I flew all the way since early morning, but I just arrived.
You just arrived?
Well, yes.
Good that you got here safely. And was flying in COVID times very challenging?
Very, very challenging. And that's the whole thing. You just have to, social distance and all those stuff. But I just made it. That's great. So yeah. I'm in this hotel, so I hope the connection is okay.
Hey, we got good connectivity right now. No choppiness or no anything. So, but your timing is perfect.
Yes, you just. Well, that's good. Air Canada, you see.
I wanted to say to you, sir, that I kind of started things before you got here, of course, right?
Well, and tell me, where are you at?
I went through our dream, our vision that we have for the 3H humans. We talked about that. And here's the point I was just getting to, and your timing's perfect, because I was thinking, remember last week we were talking about where you believe, and you're convincing me that each human being that enters this world is here for a specific purpose. They have something that they're put on this earth to do. Do you agree with that?
That's correct. And it has nothing to do with how smart you are. It has nothing to do with how successful you are. It has nothing to do with how popular somebody is or how acceptable you are. It has all to do with how faithful you are with discharging the power of your person and your presence and your purpose. Just being present is an assignment and a duty that behooves all of us, from babyhood, from the baby till the grave. Even after you are put into a grave, your body still have uses. It will fertilize the land.
No, there you go. Okay, fair enough. But my point, my question for you is this: how do we not know then? Let's say every human being comes here to have this unique human experience to make a contribution that nobody else can make, right? It's only their contribution. And it's not a comparison, as you said. It's not about who's stronger or smarter or more beautiful or faster. It's all about that they just have a unique voice, a unique presence that they have to share. Presence and purpose. And what was the third P thing? Present, purpose, and
contribution, impact, all those stuff. I can
yes,
keep on going through. Yeah.
So if then we have people that are in tough situations, that they don't get the things that we all need as humans, they don't get enough food, and they don't have clean water, and they don't have clean housing, then how do then those folks, those people, those humans will be thwarted in living this vision that they have, in living this their selfhood, because they're not able to pursue that in their conditions that they are born in, grew up in, that kind of thing. Would you agree? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, and more.
Okay, let's hear it.
Here is the more.
Okay.
Wealth has nothing to do with worth.
Wealth has nothing to do with worth.
Poverty, and in fact, development has nothing to do with material wealth. In fact, some of the poorest people in the world are the people who live in wealthy countries. Some of the unhappiest people in the face of the earth are people who live full of material possession. They have it all.
Sure.
But that's important. And we say we have advancement in medicine, but our hospitals are full of people who are intoxicated by the food we just ate.
Right. Yeah.
So we both agree that development or welfare, or it has to do with something deeper. And that is what we want to bring to the awareness of people. Not wealth, not even the material, the height of it all, or the pop, or the music, or the science of it. But do we really live? Mm-hmm. My problem with humanity, with fallen humanity, I say fallen because many of us never really lived.
Okay. And when you say never really lived, because we weren't here in this present moment. We were always worried about what happened in the past, or always thinking about what's going to happen in the future.
Well, we spend most of our day traveling back and forth from the past to the future to the present. We never here.
Yeah.
70,000 thoughts. We don't even know what they are. We don't even know how to harness the power of one thought. Because if we were, for example, let's think about compassion. If people will sit and just stay focused a little bit more on compassion, they will do something about it. But it's a fleeting reality.
Right.
It's like birds flying back and forth. We never take time to actually harness, cultivate a thought and actually see it and, soil that thought, enrich the ground of our garden. When we begin doing this, we profoundly change the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes really good sense to me. I understand.
And it begins with each one of us embracing that truth.
Right.
And I have more to say, but but I don't want you to say.
No, that's good. So let me ask you this question, Daniel. How do you, to be present, to be here in this moment, to be aware of those thoughts and, sit with those thoughts and cultivate those ones that you want to cultivate and have them grow and become more? How do you do that? What is your practice?
For me, I just accept the time it is and the day that it is. I accept today as at its own term. I welcome who I am with my best thoughts and my worst one.
And your worst one?
My worst thoughts.
Okay.
I just accept and I observe and I welcome reality as is, knowing that God lives in me and I live in this world and I have an added value. I just have to recognize it and obey the voice and the call of my heart.
Right. Right.
And that is the key that I need to do that. So be present, and be present in a way that doesn't intoxicate, in the way that doesn't insult the dignity and the worth of another. Be present, meaning less violence. Be less violence against yourself.
Sure.
I mean, when your conscience tells you something and you do not want to follow the voice of conscience, you have become violent. And you are as violent, and that violence is criminal.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are attacking another human being, including yourself.
Right.
You do not have a right to just go and just harm yourself just because you live in you. Even you deserve to be here, and you deserve to be protected, to be honored, to be celebrated as you are.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is, be human. I just arrived in a hotel. I sat down and I connected, and I am here in my humanity. I don't have to have the whole tie, and suit and tie. I can just be present.
I was going to talk to you about your wardrobe, man. We're going to get into that.
But you see, but the reality is that some of us don't even want to accept our own selfhood. Oh, I'm black, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too brown, I'm too this. Like, who told you this? Well, you say society and the media told us that. Well, the problem is that you are the most effective media, and society too. You are part of it, and you are the medium, in the sense that each one of us are the medium. We are an intermediary to something. And so we need to become truly alert and be really present, to devote to be present. Because when we are present, we will see things, we will observe, we will notice beauty, we'll notice the flower, we'll notice the voice of a crying child. Nowadays, we can be in our own houses. If somebody is crying in the next house, I wouldn't hear anything.
No.
Because who cares? But we need to develop and to cultivate in us all that sense of honesty and honoring our presence and the fact that I'm a neighbor to you. And that neighborhood means when I shovel my snow, I don't actually shovel exactly to my corner and stop. When strength is within you, shovel your neighbor's driveway. Now, that's one way to be present. And when you do that, do not go and tell your neighbor, I shoveled your driveway. Just shovel it.
Yeah.
That is what I mean. When we are so engaged and you do it, there is such a joy that comes. Sure. I don't preach something like this that I don't do myself.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's what I mean, you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like right now, when you feel like smiling, smile. When you feel like laughing, laugh, for crying out loud. Look at you. You're happy. So just let it go.
Perfect. Thank you for that. But I'm following what you're telling me. You're basically telling me, one, when you're saying about harming yourself, you're talking about harming yourself with what you put in your mouth, or if you smoke cigarettes, or if you drink too much alcohol, or any of those kind of things. That's what you're talking about, harming yourself, right?
In your mind, yes.
Yes.
Because in between your ears, the message and the meetings that happen in between your ears, that's what kills you. You see, on Sunday, I'm going to be speaking about trials that people face. Trials of many kinds. One of the things about trials is that they are externally imposed on us. It's whatever comes at you from the outside. You see, it's the troubles. The Alberta economy is like, we can't afford it now. Yeah, that's a trial we have to take on together. But we don't get there by beginning to throw stone at each other.
Right. Yeah.
We get there by putting down stones and spear and embracing.
Yeah.
We don't begin saying, because Alberta is not conservative, it's not NDP, it's not liberal. Alberta is people. People living here and seeking to be real and to do their lives next to each other, to encourage each other. So let us not be distracted by the politics and the noises outside. We are just human. And I have seen Albertans bleed. They don't bleed conservative or NDP or liberal or Christian. It looked like they bleed red.
Okay, that's good to know. I'm glad you got that clarified for us.
And that is what I mean by being present. Because the politics, the philosophies, the ideologies that are being marketed there to us, we just embrace them by fear. And when you are afraid, you cannot be present in the world as your organic self, as you ought to be known. So, but we ought to be and to know as we are known, and to be authentically here without travail. And when I say without travail, I mean I don't have to yell. I can just be me. I don't need to try to be noticed. I am already noticed by the God of the universe. I'm noticed by the earth. I'm noticed by the trees. I'm noticed by all that there is. If they have consciousness, even the trees will say, I can see you.
Do they talk to you when you walk by them?
Well, in the Lord of the Rings,
the trees. I'm just giving you.
In the Lord of the Ring, the trees talk.
Oh yeah, that's sure. Yeah. Okay, so when you're talking about harming yourself or doing an injustice to yourself, kind of a thing, we have this body, this amazing body that we can move and talk and sing and it does all the things we want it to do, kind of a thing. It can serve others, it can be of value, can be there for our relationships that we have. It sounds like you're saying we have an obligation to treat this body well, to be very conscious of this gift that we have and preserving this gift and making it work as well as it possibly can. You agree?
Even the body that doesn't work, even the body that is broken, even the body that is crippled, even the body that is infested with cancer, that body is an intelligence of its own, because the brain works, the heart pumps, there is a physical intelligence. And this is something like in where I come from, I'm a pastor in Rome. We talk about creation. The world is speaking, the earth is speaking, the universe is speaking, the glory of God. I mean, there is something in the beingness. No matter how crippled my hand, maybe carpal tunnel, no matter my limitation, you know what? There is something to be beheld. There is glory in it. It's unbelievable how many broken human beings are changing the world profoundly. That is what I mean. When we come back to that authentic selfhood, we root ourselves and plant ourselves in that truth. We become unstoppable, unbreakable, unbendable. The body may be aching. I may be ill. I may be suffering whatever the diseases and illness of the bones. But I know I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and I'm going to be present fearfully and wonderfully. I'm going to honor you. When you call, if I can, I will help you. If I cannot, I will tell you I want to, but I cannot. You see, that is what I mean. And then when your heart pushes you to do something for another person, do it, obey it now. Don't wait. Don't say when I have money, when I'm 65. I know lots of people who are 65 and retired. They're not helping anybody. Do you know what they said? They say sociologists said. They say this: if you do not volunteer or give to charity by the time you are 40, you will not be volunteering and giving to charity after you're 40.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
So what happened? It's because like our son, it's no longer part of your reality. It's not something because you have refused, because you are built to be empathic, to reach out to other people, to reach out to the world, to reach out to the weak, to the weary, to the broken. But when you refuse to do that, after 40, it's like you have you have settled. It takes a lot of work to just begin again. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it doesn't occur to you naturally. Look at this. One of the things that I have to call people on, I have to call my fellow Canadian, as soon as we give $1 to charity, we begin critiquing that charity, saying they didn't manage it good enough.
Mm.
I haven't seen lots of great Canadian donor who would give to an organization and they just say, I'm responsible to give. They're responsible to manage. As soon as we pay our taxes to the government, we are yelling at the same government. I understand there are some people who are mismanaging, but I'm saying when you give, you are responsible for doing that. The government is responsible to do what they do, and they'll be held accountable at the end of the year. Same thing when you give to the food bank, you give, let it go.
Yeah.
The food bank is responsible, and they have board of directors that manage that. In the end, they'll be held accountable. I'm saying sometimes we overwork ourselves, and by doing that, I know many Canadian donors who stop giving because I'm so frustrated with the food bank. I'm so frustrated, and they become a reason, just like yap, and we talk ourselves out of being responsible. Who told you they're supposed to be good managers? You know what? You help your mom and dad, serve them. Like I'm saying, we need to be present. We need to be real. We need to volunteer our gifts and our resources. That's our responsibility. Just be responsible. You do that. Let the world deal with it. Let the world deal with it. And that's so important. You have a company, you know how easy, I don't know, maybe you're not used to having people that call you and just complain instead of seeking to understand. We are just going and we think we have to use a hammer. It's not the hammer that changes the world sometimes. Sometimes it's not about the hammer. Sometimes it's a needle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let that thread, like, just join things together. I know I'm taking it quite a lot. I'm going like from here, from what we're talking, I'm expanding it to charity, but I'm telling you that this is very important. You know, one of the reasons that poor countries are suffering, because we don't believe that they are good managers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. I see it. Yeah,
Yes.
people think they're going to write a check and it's going to get wasted, or the CEO is going to take all the money and none of it's going to get to people who it's actually going to help, right? Or those kind of things, right?
Yeah, and we don't want to help Zambia, Zimbabwe, Tanzania. Like it doesn't. You name all those countries. We need to give them a chance. Like there's no good country who manages. Even the United States is bankrupt. The Canada is bankrupt. Everybody have problem with money. So sometimes we just say we don't want to help those countries because they are bankrupt, because they are not smart enough. That's a new imperialism and colonialism, and it must be down with that. We need to reach out and help them strengthen their capacity and trust them. Let me tell you this. There was a time, and it's still happening. Many a time, if we want to help, like Ghana, for example, if we said, well, there is $1 million we want to give to Ghana, do you know what happens? Do you think the Canadian government, or we just take the money and go and give it to Ghana, to the Canadian government? No. Well, it has to go through our Canadian institutions and companies, right?
Right.
Because we don't want to lose money. We want to do it. But I'm saying as a country, sometimes we got to learn to let go of some things. We just say, here's $10 million. We actually help you and let them manage it.
Yeah.
You know what? There's something in this.
And it's also kind of a matter of the giver thinks that good management is only the way they do it. Like there's other ways, right? There's 1,000 ways to get stuff done. So a different culture, a different way, they might have a different way to do that looks ineffective or looks that it is not going to make results, but it could very well, in their culture, in their environment, in their situation, it could be the best possible value, right? So
that's good. It's changing. So I must say things are getting better. People are becoming more engaged, and they're saying, we're not going to do that. If I'm going to make a gift to you, I'm giving you a gift. I'm not going to control it. That's it. There's a gift to help you. And then my responsibility is to give, and their responsibility to do it, to take care of it.
Right. But you've done your part by making the gift, right? And hopefully it serves well, but that's not your concern for what happens after you've made that gift.
Yes, and that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. I don't know how human beings always have problems. But whenever you decide to make a gift to somebody, you're taking the risk. You're saying, I have processed it in my heart. There it is for you. When you go to Street Alive and you say, we're going to help you, we're going to help you with, I don't know, maybe here's $100,000 for you to take care of the homeless or people. We are giving it an entrusting Street Alive. You say, do your best. Do what you are good at. We understand there may be some problem, but we know that you are resourced and strong enough to manage those problems and to air it out. Just go, we trust you. And when we support each other fully, and we, like, basically when we believe in somebody, people deliver. If we give and we don't believe in Street Alive, obviously collectively we are waiting to see a mistake done, and we will for sure see one. I'm saying there's part of our frailties as a human being, but we need to do that. So here what we are talking about. We are talking about healthy, helpful, hopeful human. I'm saying that as a people, it's healthy when we are contributing to contribute out of who we are, genuinely 100%. Don't give half of you. You cannot, in fact, whenever you try to give half of you, you are violating yourself. It's violence against yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, when it's healthy for you, whenever you help somebody else, help and let it be. Whatever gift it is, if it is a glass of water, give it to them. Don't tell them, oh, drink this way or drink that way.
Yes, get it. Yeah, makes good sense. Hey, let me back up just a little bit. You said that we are all born empathetic. I've heard we are all born artists. We are all born geniuses. We are all born to give, to care, to love, that we're all born this perfect little being, right? Do you agree that makes sense? Is that?
Yeah. I heard that, yes.
Okay. So now, here's, I think, a reality, and we talked about a little bit this before, about adverse childhood experiences. So if you have a perfect little being that's born and they get very severely treated when they're a child, they get the belief that they're not special, that they're not empathetic, that they're not wonderful. They get the feeling that they are worthless or hopeless or not of value because of how they've been treated. And they tie that to those around them and think, it must be my fault. My father is angry and hits people, must be my fault. My mother is poor and sick, must be my fault. Do you think that's true?
Many people have been treated in such a way that they no longer know how to handle their own selves. And
then inadvertently they do violence to themselves if they don't know how to handle themselves.
That's right. Because we have been unloved or misloved. The love that they received is not the kind of love that empowers. It's the kind of love that takes away from them. You see, so they need a new sobriety. We need to bring a sobriety, and only love cures this. It's a revolution of love that will heal the world. It's a revolution of love that will heal children like that. Mm-hmm. It's a revolution of love that will transform those children. I am one of them. Love cures cancers. Love cures cancer. Love is a powerful pill. It's the most effective chemotherapy that is in the world. Every pill that they give you for your health, if you were to break it down, is love. I'm telling you, love is the key. You know, they say that everything you created. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, certainly, there's no way that love would do any harm. That's for sure. Like, I mean, you're saying it cures. Others might be skeptical about it curing, but it certainly can't do any harm to anybody, can it? Love.
Well, because nobody have ever proven to me that what you just said. Because nobody have proven to me that love doesn't work. Because there's no other thing that works. Because even the hospice, that's hospitality, that's love. Yeah. Even when we say you go to the hospital, that's hospice, that's the center of love. Whatever that medication we give, it's a fruit of love. It's because somebody thought about it. Somebody studied this. That's a fruit of love, the labor of love that produces. So that's why I say when you take whatever pill that you take, that's a labor of love. There is absolutely, I am convinced, there is no other pill in the world that can heal humanity or any illness in the world but love. Love is the answer.
How important is love for yourself, Daniel? How important is that?
You see, the problem when you come to love, technically, I can't love myself. I accept me. I welcome me as it is. It's like we use those terms. I love me, all those stuff. But love is communal. It is somebody. I can't make babies with myself. I can't make love with me and make babies.
Understood.
God did not give me that. But God is in community, that there is a fruit of love. There is children, there's quite a lot of it. But I need to welcome me. And welcoming self is a form of love. Accepting self is a form of love. But it is just sustaining that I am a dative self and I count. I'm heard, I'm accepted. You see, that's what I'm trying to say. So colloquially, we say self-love. But really, in practice, I need a brother, I need a sister, I need someone to lean on. Now, this is this. Everything is created twice. There is a first and a second creation. Somebody thought about creating a bottle or a system, a container where we can hold water. They made this one. But they made some of different size. There's massive containers, like that's it. But somebody thought, there was an ingenuity. They thought and designed it, and then they brought it to pass. You see, in my mind, I'm dreaming of a day in which people will no longer need to be taught how to love.
Mm-hmm.
They will no longer need to be taught justice. They will no longer need to be taught how to accept each other, how to welcome themselves, how to welcome other people in their circle. They will no longer be taught righteousness. And I think that day has begun. Because I think as a people, as a humanity, I truly believe we are heaven on earth. I think so. And I'm dreaming of that day. And I can't wait to see it manifested, that in our neighborhood, there's no violence. You see, people are not stealing from each other. I am dreaming of a day when we fully have development. When there is development in our cities, there will be no need of hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
We are healthy.
Mm-hmm.
We are happy. There will be no need for churches. Every household will be church. There'll be no need for mosque. There'll be no need for any or any worship center. There's nothing, because church will be here in the heart, right? And we can embrace each other. I'm still dreaming of a day like this.
That sounds like a beautiful dream, Daniel. Beautiful.
So that's your 3H.
Exactly. Hey, we're like 38 minutes now, 39. Do you want to carry on, or should we wrap her up here for today?
We should wrap it up, to be faithful.
Okay.
Again, it is really, really, really good. So why don't you wrap it up, and then I'll say the amen.
All right. Hallelujah. That sounds good. My name's Alan. This is Brother Daniel here. So we have this dream we share about a world where every person in the world is healthy and hopeful and helping. And that's what we want to, we're thinking about it, and we're hoping everybody else joins in, right, Daniel? And that this goes.
And we're just having a conversation. We don't claim to know anything. We're just good old boys just having a chat.
Exactly.
And it's listen and watch us at your own risk.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. But if you want to be part of this, you can comment while we're doing a show, and we'll speak to you. You can call us. We got a number down there, and we've got an email address as well. So if you want to reach out to us, if you want to be part of this conversation that we're having, which is always so much fun, Daniel, having a conversation with you. So if you want to be part of that, we invite you to do that. Next Thursday, we'll see you back here at 7:00, and we're going to basically kind of see what we're going to talk about that day, right, Daniel?
We do it as we just come, meet, chat, and see whatever comes. That's what it is. There's no burden. We don't have to perform. You have to follow a script. It's be genuinely, authentically self.
Yes.
There's something beautiful about that.
In alignment with that perfect self that we have within us, right?
That's right.
That we're trying to fulfill. Yes.
That's right.
All right, brother Daniel. Keep yourself well.
See you, man.